The sun hung low over Ado Ekiti, casting long shadows across the bustling market. Sade wiped her brow with the edge of her wrapper. She packed tomatoes into a plastic bag. A customer passed her a few naira notes, which she slipped into her apron. Her eyes wandered to her husband Tunde, who was laughing and chatting with some women by the bakery stand. Her heart ticked with a familiar bitterness. As the market winded down, Sade approached Tunde. "You enjoyed market today, Abi?" she said, trying to keep her voice light. Tunde smirked. "Ah, you know me now. Just making sure our customers are happy." Sade looked at him closely. "Na only customers? Or something else they happen for corner?" Tunde chuckled, dismissing her words with a wave of his hand. "Sade, stop. You know you're the only one for me." That evening, Sade sat on a wooden stool outside their modest home. She peeled yams with a small knife. In the distance, she could hear Tunde speaking on the phone, his voice just loud enough to catch snippets of his conversation. "Don't worry. Tomorrow night?" "Yes, she'll be at the shop." Something tugged at Sade's heart, a suspicion, unwelcome and unsettling. The next day, as she arranged her goods, her friend Ayo stopped by. "Ah, Sade, have you heard the latest gist?" she said, a mischievous grin on her face. "What gist, Ayo?" Sade asked, though her heart pounded in her chest. "And people are saying Tunde is always seeing those young university girls." Sade's hand froze. "Which girls, Ayo? Tell me. I beg you." Ayo shifted uncomfortably. "I don't know their names, but they say they see him every Friday." Sade felt her world tip sideways. "And? You've heard well? This is not a joke?" she asked, forcing her voice to stay even. "I wouldn't lie to you, my friend," Ayo replied, reaching for Sade's hand. That evening, Sade watched as Tunde laughed over dinner, seemingly without a care in the world. She pushed her food around her plate, appetite gone. He glanced at her. "You no chop? The food no sweet?" "It's fine," she replied, mind miles away, already plotting how to uncover the truth. Sade called in a favor from a friend who worked security at a nearby shop. She had heard whispers about a CCTV installation at the market where Tunde frequented. "Bayo, please help me," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "I need to see what happens on Friday nights." "I will do what I can," Bayo reassured her, his tone gentle, aware of the potential storm his findings could bring. Friday arrived, cool and clear. Sade remained restless throughout the day. She moved between customers like a ghost, her heart floating somewhere above her. That night, as Tunde made his excuses to leave, Sade nodded, watching him drive off through the small window of their home. Later, Bayo dropped a flash drive into her hand, eyes shadowed with worry. "You sure you want to see this, Sade?" She nodded, throat tight. "Yes, I need to know." Back home, with trembling hands, she plugged the drive into the old laptop. The black and white footage flickered to life. She fast-forwarded until she saw Tunde's familiar form, chatting, laughing, and then something else. Half hidden by the grainy shadows, Tunde leaned into the frame and kissed a young woman. Sade sat back, feeling her heart shatter in slow motion. She closed her eyes, tears slipping past her lashes. Betrayal throbbed in her chest, a dull, relentless ache. She slipped the drive back into her bag, each motion automatic, numb. The next evening, Sade greeted Tunde as usual, her face a perfect mask, but her mind was churning. Her smile didn't reach her eyes as they ate in silence, broken only by the sound of cutlery against their plates. "You tired again today?" Tunde asked, his voice casual. Sade forced a small laugh. "The market was long," she lied, all the while her thoughts plotted her next move. She needed her time, her space, to plan, and she would not allow him to see anything was amiss. She excused herself early, claiming a headache, and lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, visions of the footage playing on a loop in her mind. Betrayed, angry, she clenched her fists under the thin blanket, heart hammering with barely contained rage. The next morning, Sade woke with a clarity edged in steel. She had been wronged, deceived, and she knew exactly what her next steps would be. As she prepared breakfast, she was calm, every action deliberate, but inside, she simmered, readying her heart for what must come. As Tunde sat down to eat, she smiled sweetly at him, masking the storm brewing within, a storm that promised revenge for every lie told. The morning sun filtered through the small kitchen window, casting a glow on the table where Sade set a plate of akara for Tunde. He grunted a morning greeting, oblivious to the storm in Sade's heart. "Sleep well, my dear?" Tunde asked, mouth half full. Sade nodded, her voice a whisper of calm over the tempest brewing within. "Very well," she replied, each word a calculated play, knowing they were on the brink of their reckoning. In the market, Sade confided in Ayo, the truth a heavy weight in her words. "He betrayed me, Ayo. I saw it with my own eyes. I cannot let this go unpunished." Ayo placed a hand on her shoulder, her brow creased with concern. "Sade, revenge is like a double-edged sword. Be careful." "But he must know the pain he has caused." Sade's voice quivered, determination laced with her anguish. After the market, Sade spent the afternoon with Bayo, watching clips from other days. Her heart hardened with each frame, fueling her resolve. "I will make him feel my pain," she vowed aloud, the weight of her words resonating in the quiet room. Bayo looked at her for a long moment before cautioning, "Sade, be sure this is what you want. Sometimes a different path may lead you to peace." With a plan cemented in her mind, Sade invited family and friends for what was masqueraded as a casual gathering. Unbeknownst to them, Sade intended to expose Tunde's betrayal boldly. As Tunde greeted the guests, oblivious to the turbulence within his wife, Sade remained by the entrance, waiting for the perfect moment. Sade stood before the crowd like a griot ready to weave her tale. She raised her voice, silencing the chatter with her unexpected announcement. "Tonight I wish to show everyone something important." Tunde's eyes darted around, confusion etched in his features. "Sade kini koko yen?" he asked, concern sharpening his tone. "You will see," Sade retorted, inserting the flash drive into the laptop connected to the television. As the footage played, gasps filled the room. The evidence was irrefutable. Tunde's betrayal, bare for all to see, left no room for denial. Sade watched, her heart heavy with mingled victory and devastation as whispers buzzed through the gathering. Tunde's facade crumbled, shame and anger battling across his face. "Sade, this was not necessary," he spat, his voice colored with desperation. "You brought it upon yourself," Sade replied, her words sharper than any weapon. Disgraced, Tunde fled the house, leaving an uprooted Sade amidst family and friends who now viewed her ordeal with a new layer of gravity. Her mother, Mama Folake, pulled her aside, the gentle wisdom in her touch palpable. "Omomi, remember, this world is full of pain, but only God can heal what is broken inside," she whispered, her voice laced with a motherly plea for understanding. The days drifted by, filled with whispers and sideways glances. Sade's heart beat against a drum of solitude that seemed to grow louder with each passing moment. The expected satisfaction of revenge felt hollow, and her spirit was more a wreck than ever before. Ayo visited one late afternoon, finding Sade lost in reflection. "Hey Sade, how do you feel now? You have exposed him, but do you feel better?" Sade shook her head slowly. "I imagined this would bring peace. But Ayo, my heart hurts more now than before." Ayo nodded. "Do you remember what we learned in Bible study? That only God can mend what revenge shatters?" That night, Sade lay awake beneath the oppressive weight of her choices. The silence around her was louder than any words. Finally, she sank to her knees, her body racked with sobs as she cried out, "God, I don't know how to move forward. Help me." Her plea was desperate, a whispered confession of her limitations against her overwhelming hurt. The following morning, Mama Falake visited with Pastor Kunle, a revered elder in their community. Over tea, the pastor spoke gently. "Sade, sometimes we must lose battles to win the war within ourselves. Forgiveness may seem weak, but it is where our strongest victories lie." Pastor Kunle continued, his words scriptural balm. 2 Corinthians chapter 12:9 teaches us that God's grace is sufficient. It's when we're weak that His power is made perfect. Sade closed her eyes as those words washed over her, an uncomfortable but necessary truth taking root. "Will you choose peace, my daughter?" Mama Folake asked, her eyes filled with love and hope. Sade nodded slowly, conviction rising amidst the rubble of her vengeful heart. "I have tried my way and ended here. I will try God's now. That evening, Sade drove to Tunde's small apartment. There was a tense silence as he opened the door, shock evident on his face. However, Sade was composed, her spirit steady. I came to tell you, I forgive you, she said simply. Not for you, but for my own healing. Tunde exhaled, revelation shimmering in his eyes. I don't deserve it, but thank you. As Sade walked away, a tentative peace settled within her. Though scars remained, she knew they told a story of redemption, not ruin, a testament to the power of grace over revenge. Back home, she glanced at the worn Bible on her table, its presence more than symbolic now, and with a heart scarred but at peace, she knew the real story was just beginning. Grounded not in justice, but in love and faith renewed.
Thank you so much for listening to this intriguing story. I hope it touched you or taught you something. For more stories like this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. And guys, if you'd like to see a part 2, or you have thoughts on what happened, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next story.